All right. Welcome to CCCC Libraries Meet at Fontis, Dogwood Digital, and Kanopy. My name is Morgan, and I'm going to be presenting with Mari and Allison as we discuss our 3 new databases that we have here at the library. So, over the last year, the library has purchased 3 new databases, and they are at Fontis that has an instructor sort of facing version and a student facing version. And we're going to look at both of those fairly quickly. And then Dogwood Digital, which some may know as Libby, and then Kanopy. These are 3 new resources that are really great. They have new formats. They're helpful for media literacy. And then some, like Dogwood Digital and Kanopy, can be used for research, but also just for fun reading. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Ad Fontis, and then we will go to Libby, Dogwood Digital, and then finally wrap up with Kanopy, and we'll answer any questions at that point then. All right, so Ad Fontis is owned by Ad Fontis Media Incorporation, and it's a database that provides an interactive way to engage with media literacy. So one of the things that I think is really critical about this particular resource is the methodology. And I want you to know that we're going to share these slides after, and I've actually got the link here for the Ad Fontis, sort of what they say their methodology is, and then a Wikipedia overview. In this case, it's okay to use Wikipedia to kind of give you an understanding of how they ultimately organize their information. So it's a way to be able to identify if a source, particularly things that we typically see in the news and the media, maybe lean really far left or lean really far right or somewhere down the center line. And then these 2 links will kind of show you the format at which they sort of create the methodology and how they apply it when they are making their assessments. They typically will have, and this is kind of a vague general overview, but kind of to give you an idea, what they'll do is they'll have someone who identifies as left, middle, and right, and then they will come together and review the media source as a unit, and then they'll ultimately decide where to place it on the layout or the scale, which will make more sense once I show it to you. So that's if you have an instructor that is either wanting to use this for a class on media literacy, maybe part of the class involves some sort of media literacy, or if you are doing research and you're trying to see where do my particular sources fall on this sliding scale of bias or agenda. Where does it fall? And so Ad Fontis offers plans that you can use in class, but then it can also provide you with some ways to think about. In this case, I have an image of rating language. And so it gives the students a little bit of background and understanding about how to do that, and then kind of organizes it so that students who maybe have never seen this type of approach before will feel comfortable being able to say, well, my source falls in this location based on what I'm reading here. And then if students have an assignment and they think that, they're good to go, they have explored the argument as fully as they can, this might be a great way to say, well, let's see where your sources fall. And if they all fall to the right or all fall to the left, then it lets you know that maybe we need to expand our research a little bit. And at the library, we can totally help the students use this resource, and we can also help them find things that give them a better, more well-rounded argument as they do their research. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to type in the chat or unmute yourself. I'm going to show you what they look like from the instructor point of view and from the student point of view, and then that will conclude my portion, and I'll pass it along to Mari. Okay. So I'm going to go to the library's website, and I've got that pulled up here. If you have any trouble seeing the screen at any point, just please let me know. And we're going to scroll down to the college library's summon search box here, and we're going to start by looking at the student side of things, just kind of what they're going to see, and then we'll look at the instructor side. So if we click on databases, that tab, the easiest way is go to A to Z listing, and then you'll see a drop down, and then we'll just scroll to add Fontis. You can see it right, it's right here, interactive media bias chart. So we click on that, and it is going to pull up the information so that the students or the person on this side of sort of student instructor relationship can see it from this perspective. So you can see here it's already populating where all of this information falls. And again, this is not an end all be all, like you don't have to agree with it and your students don't have to agree with it, but it can be a great way to kind of figure out where to get started. You can see here on the side that it's basically like contains inaccurate information, so less reliable, and then it goes up to original fact reporting, high effort, high reliability. And then across the top here and at the top, you can see most extreme left, hyperpartisan, and then it goes all the way to most extreme right. So you can see where your sources lie. Now, this is a lot of content, so you can actually uncheck certain things. This is just podcast and audio that they've got pulled up. If you want, you can type in a particular source's name and see where it falls. And then if you would like, you can also kind of rate it based on like where it falls in the reliability. So filter by reliability or filter by bias. And you can do that. You can see that here, reliability and bias. And then more options, it allows you to explore the audience range, like that's the size of the audience, and then also local, national, and international. So if we click on local, we will see if anything comes up. There doesn't appear to be any podcasts, but we can click on TV, video, and we can also click on websites and articles. And now we might start to see things that will populate. Again, you can see that not everything is perfect here. We have the LA Times. That's not quite what we would consider local, but again, you can play with it. You can kind of decide what it is that you're looking for. You can also select your state to even be more specific. And you can also do by ownership, and then you can do by keyword, content keyword. So there's lots of different ways to play with this depending on what it is that you would like to accomplish or what you like your students to accomplish. All right, so I'm going to go back to the library's website. And so we are back on the original page. And if you are a staff or faculty member, what you can do is, if you're looking for your side of things, you can go into the Employee Hub. And then it's under Instructor Support. So obviously the Employee Hub looks a little different than usual, what the old website looked like. So Instructor Support. And then you will see the library student support page. You can go there or you can do student support page. It is really however you would like to kind of organize it. And then you'll see Add Fontis Media Instructor Resource Guide and Lesson Plans. And when you click on that, you are also going to see the bias chart, but you will see more resources like the handouts there were images of those, and then some books. So you can go to the dashboard, and it's thinking about it, and it will think about it. And then you can see here it's training videos, starter lessons, manuals, and then you've got your sort of training documents. You've got blank charts that you can use for students to fill in or that you can fill in, how to rate veracity, and then there's that media bias chart for you. So essentially, this is what it looks like in the instructor side of things, finding those lesson plans and additional information that can then be used as class materials. All right, if you don't have any questions, that's great. If you do, feel free to put them in the chat, and we can definitely monitor the chat as we move on to our next portion of the presentation. So I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen now.
All right, I hope everyone can hear me. And let's see if I can get the slide up here. I hope everybody can see this lovely slide about Dogwood Digital.
Yes, we can.
So
Right.
wonderful. So glad to hear it. I've been having computer problems. So Dogwood Digital it's a digital library. It's a collection of ebooks, e-audiobooks, and magazines. And we share this in partnership with other North Carolina community colleges. Items can be accessed on a computer or on a mobile device via the free Libby app. This is our main source that we use for ebooks. So whereas before we had some, I think we had a lot of them through EBSCO. Now we do our main purchasing for ebooks through Dogwood Digital. We have titles for leisure and academic use. And we are the ones selecting and purchasing these titles. This is not just something that we subscribe to and we're at the mercy of what some database is putting together for us. We get to choose these. We have influence in what appears on there, and our budget for ebook titles is it's here. It's for Dogwood Digital. So we do this, and a lot of the other community colleges participate in it and also make selections which are available to us to share. New titles are added regularly, of course, since we're the ones doing the purchasing for this. This is not some static repository where it's stuff from 10 years ago, but there's nothing new. New titles are added regularly, and I will show you when we take a closer look at Dogwood Digital how to find newer things if you're interested in what we have added lately. There are close to 50,000 titles to choose from, and in addition to traditional books and the ebooks and audiobooks, there are magazines on here. There are thousands of magazines. There are also comic books, graphic novels, all kinds of these really amazing resources. I can't wait to show you. And there are many, many ways to search for these items. So let me bring this up on here and show you. I hope that everyone can see this welcome landing page for Dogwood Digital Library. If you cannot, please let me know, and I will try to figure out what I did wrong. So once you log in, and you will need to log in using your library card, this is what you'll see. At the top, you have all these tabs for newest, popular. You can sort by just random books and available now. There are a lot of different ways to search this. So here at the top, we have some that were just added, all the titles that have recently been added to the catalog. If we scroll down a little bit, there are some guides that go by topic if you're looking for particular genres or particular subjects. And one thing that I really, really want to highlight on this is that we have tons of titles for careers, study guides, testing, a lot of test guides. And I have not looked through all of the ones that there are, but I'm seeing some that I know people have requested here in person. So just know that all of these are available online, especially if you have students who are online only and they might never come into the library. Please promote Dogwood Digital to them, because a lot of this is like coming in to visit the library. This is very much a part of our collection that we offer. We also have books in many languages, and I'll show you the filter for sorting that in a little bit. But it's not just in English. We have books and magazines in many languages. So let me scroll back up to the top here, and I'm going to show you something that I think is very cool. So if we go to this drop-down menu here, this is how you can sort by filters. And the top thing that comes up is sorting by subject. I'm going to click on this to expand because it has us sorted out by 150 subjects in total. And this just kind of gives you a really good view of all that is available here, you can see right away that this is not just books for leisure, not just books for fun. There are many, many, many titles on here that have academic value. Here we have 749 study aids and workbooks. You can see some more familiar genres, romance, horror, fantasy, but you can also see we have a lot of titles here. We have about 1,300 on sociology that would fall under that category. We have politics and education. There's psychology. If I scroll down a little bit more, it's one I saw yesterday. Where is that? Maybe it was closer up to the top. Yes, we have literary criticism right there. We have, might be useful if you have students who are in English classes. And here at the top, I will point out again, we have 6,000 comic books and graphic novels. We've had a lot of interest in that, and many of those actually have academic value as well, if you want to use any of them for research purposes. So that was just a quick look at some of the subjects that we have available on here. There are many other ways to search. And let me go back to, again, you can go by format. And here down at the bottom, we have language as one of the filters. I was just going to click on that real quick here. Obviously, most of them are going to be in English. We also have a lot of French, German, and Spanish. So one way that this could be useful to you or to your students, one of the best ways to learn another language is to do free reading in that language. And what I found when I started looking around on here is that a lot of the titles that are foreign language titles are actually magazines. Great way to practice skills in another language. If you look through a magazine, lots of pictures, lots of easy reading, and I think that might be a way that I'm going to start using Dogwood Digital myself. So you can have 5 books checked out at a time for Dogwood Digital. I'm going to come back here. And just highlight that the study guides are available again as I speak. You can have 5 items checked out at a time. You can also place 5 items on hold if something is not immediately available and you need to get on a waiting list for it. And there are ways, if you play around with it as you click through various books, you can read samples from it, so you don't have to check something out in order to read a part of it and see if it will be useful for your research or for whatever purpose you're requesting that book. All right, and I am going to pass it on to Alice now. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'm working from one screen here, so I have not been able to monitor the chat. That's not what I'm looking for.
Okay. Are you seeing the right screen? Can everybody see that? Okay, great. Hello, everyone. I'm Allison Sills, and today I'm going to introduce you to Kanopy, which is a free streaming video service available through our library. If you like Netflix and Hulu, then this is an academic version, but it's free, and it's designed to help you with your classes as well as your downtime. So what is Kanopy? Kanopy is a streaming platform that our library subscribes to, so students can watch thousands of films for free. Instead of having ads or random YouTube video clips, Kanopy focuses on educational documentaries, foreign films, classics, horror films and cult classics, comedies and thrillers. It's got a lot of fun stuff. The big idea is it's a high quality content that's both entertaining and useful for your coursework. And I'll just show you how we're going to get there. Getting there is simple. You just go to our library's website and click on databases, just like Fontis and Dogwood Digital. Click on the A to Z. You can shortcut by clicking on K and click on Kanopy. And, the very first time you click in, you might have to choose your university. So we're going to click on that. We're going to type in Central Carolina Community College. And then we'll pick that. And I've already signed in with my account. It might ask you to sign in with your portal account if you're using it from one of the apps, the app on your phone or on your television. There's different kinds of, you might have to sign in the first time. It knows that I'm on the college campus right now, so it's already got me there. But if you're looking at the app on your phone, you might have to log in with your portal. But once you're here, you'll see that there's all kinds of films that are available here. You've got Toronto International Film Festival picks, and you can click on Browse if you want to see, for instance, Essential Film Studies had some great options. You see, it's not just the most highbrow intellectual pursuits. We've got some cult classics as well, some real influential films in both horror and all through film school. I remember watching those when I was taking film class. Finding films is easy. You can browse by subject. You see we have subjects here: anthropology, law, film studies, science, sociology, psychology, history, business. You can always also search by keyword or title, director. The platform also has curated playlists. For example, during Black History Month or Women's History Month, you'll see collections of films pulled together by librarians and educators. These collections can be a great way to get inspiration for a research topic. So we've got some great choices here. You can even search for Christmas films. I was looking at those earlier. Christmas films. There's quite a few. There's young Nicole Kidman. Where's my favorite? Where'd it go? Oh, where'd it go? Grumpy Cat, worst Christmas ever. Okay. There's all kinds of things on here that you can enjoy. And let me give you some examples for nursing and health science students. There are documentaries on mental health, aging, and healthcare systems, and also fictional stories. For English or communications, you can find film adaptations of plays and novels, as well as some foreign films that broaden cultural perspectives. History and sciences, social sciences, tons of PBS documentaries, classical speeches, and coverage of world events. Even culinary students can find food and cultural documentaries. Basically, whatever your program is, Kanopy has something that connects. So why use Kanopy? Here's why Kanopy is worth your time. First, it's free. There's no hidden fees or subscriptions. Second, it's ad-free, so it's not distracting, and it can really help you if you need to study something in particular. Third, it's accessible. Every film has subtitles, and many have transcripts, which are great for ESL students and for taking notes. And finally, it's curated, meaning that you're getting films that faculty actually trust and may even assign in classes. And for students, you can stream the films anytime, anywhere, which makes it easy to work around your schedule. You can also cite Kanopy films in research papers or use clips in class presentations. Faculty can assign entire films or request specific ones if they aren't already available. We can purchase additional things. So it's not just entertainment, it's also a resource built to support teaching and learning. And you can build your own watch list so films are ready when you are. You can download the Kanopy app on your phone, like I said before. You can also, so you can watch it on the bus between classes. Anytime you have downtime, you can also put it on your Roku or your Apple TV, whatever format you use at home. Your smart TV, you can put this app on it and use it just like you would at school. And You can use Kanopy to find paper ideas because the subject collections are very broad. So to recap, Kanopy is free, so it saves you money. It's easy to use. It works on all your devices, and it has films that connect directly to your classes. It can help you study, and it can also give you something interesting to watch in your free time. If you haven't tried Kanopy yet, I highly encourage it. They have a little bit of something for everyone. Does anybody have any questions over anything we've talked about today? If not, that's pretty much the end of the presentation. And
Hey, we
here's
hope you do try it out.
yes,
Man,
please.
that's awesome.
And thank you for joining us today.
Yay, thank you. We're so glad you came. Yay. Thanks, Aspen.